Perfect. All right. Last week, the favorites were 9-4 last week. I finally won a week, which is really exciting. 11-2, fantastic week. On my end, humble brag there. Marty, you're in Sai's slot. Sai was 8-5. His really aggressive with a bunch of upsets board did not go to plan. And Zach and I only had one different pick, which is a Thursday night game. So he's 10-3 behind me. Zach is still the leader. The guests have hit 70%, gentlemen. So you got a high bar to hit. A 70% mark, which is, I guess that's Marty, that's half of you, and then half our buddy Dolan as well. So got to hold up your end of the bargain here. And we will jump into it here. So Thursday night game, Green Bay at Arizona. Arizona's favored 6.5 points, over unders 51. Green Bay, tons of COVID issues. Devontae Adams and Allen Lazard, I think they still could play if they get a couple positive tests given they're vaccinated, but it looks like probably not. So who do you, Lou, who do you got?
I think Allen Lazard is unvaccinated. Actually, I do not think he is playing. I think he is out, but I think you're right about Adams. But I will take Arizona minus 6.5. They've looked very good, and with these receiving issues, especially Devontae Adams, he doesn't play. That's trouble for Green Bay.
All right, Marty.
Well, I think Devontae Adams is, the second best player on that offense, and I think you got to remember who the best player is. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of weapons. I think you're going to see a lot of Robert Tonyan this week. I think, if Marquez is Valdez-Scantling, is he still on IR?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know when he went on IR, but I know he was. So it's tough to say, but I think you see a lot of Aaron Jones. I think you see a lot of Robert Tonyan. I think fantasy managers are going to be happy with those two if they're in their starting lineup. So I'm going to take Green Bay.
Money line?
I'll take the money line.
Wow. I love it. I've got Arizona winning and covering. Moving on to the second matchup, Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3-point favorites here. Need to bounce that game from Sam Darnold, assuming he's starting. Over under is 46. I'll start it off. I've got Atlanta winning and covering. Atlanta's been playing pretty well. And sorry, I forgot to mention Zach. Zach has Arizona winning that one as well. And then he actually has a Carolina money line here. So Marty, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Atlanta in this one, divisional matchup. I think to lose point, Matt Ryan and that offense has been turning it up lately. And if they release the Kyle Pitts on them, it ain't gonna be a game.
Luke?
Yeah, I agree. I think Atlanta pulls this one out, but I think it could be a weird game depending on, how the Panthers offense looks. But the Panthers offense is very good. So
yeah,
defense, sorry.
The Panthers team they're just such a hard team to bet. They screwed us last week, and Atlanta kind of is too, to be honest with you. Moving on, Marty, to the Jets. We'll make you go last on this one. Cincinnati is coming into the Meadowlands. Cincinnati is 10-point favorites on the road, which is a big number. 43 is the over-under. I'll start it off. I've got Cincinnati winning, but one of the rules is to never take a home double-digit underdog to lose against the spread. So I'll say they don't cover, but definitely Cincinnati winning. Zach's got Cincinnati winning as well. Lou, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I got Cincinnati winning this game, but the Jets are just, besides the Titans game, they have not looked good, and we'll see how Joe Flacco does.
Okay, so I would like to start off by saying Mike White, my boy, is probably going to be starting this game since we're just now bringing the Joe Flacco in to New York. So I'm going to take Cincinnati because I'm smart and I know the outcome after being a Jets fan for nearly 15 years.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, you don't think they're going to start Flacco? You don't think he's familiar enough with?
Not this week. No, I don't think they will.
Because
he wouldn't go in, but
it's a new scheme. Like he was there last year, but it's a new coach and whatnot, so it's a new scheme. So
yeah,
I think they'll probably start White.
I was thinking they traded. I mean, Zach Wilson's only supposed to be out like 2 weeks, and I thought they figured they traded him early in the week to get him up to speed enough to get out there. But we'll see.
I was surprised you had this Mike White guy as your backup. Like give Zach Wilson a veteran anyway to learn from. Maybe not. Maybe Flacco.
Oh well, now you're just talking. Now you're talking logistics here, Evan. We don't do that in New York.
I love it. Rams have another cupcake game going to Houston. 14.5 point favorites. 47.5 is the over under. Lou, any deviation from a Rams win here?
Definitely Rams win. 14.5 is a big spread, though. I could see Houston staying within 2 scores there.
Marty?
LA at Houston. I think I'm going to go back to your original at the double digit. So I'm going to have to take LA, but not to cover.
Zach has LA as well. I have LA. I'm going to say they cover that after having a nail biter against, not a nail biter, but, a rough outing against Detroit. Lose Dolphins. Lou will go last here. Going to Buffalo. Buffalo's 13.5 point favorites. Over unders 49.5. I've definitely got Buffalo winning. I'm going to say they don't cover. Zach has Buffalo as well. Marty?
I got Buffalo by 1 million. Is that possible to do that? I'm just kidding, Lou. No, I think Buffalo takes it, but I don't think they cover.
I think this is going to be an ugly game. I think Buffalo is going to cover. I think it's just based on how their last like 6 meetings have gone. It's going to be ugly. I'm not looking forward to watching this game.
This is AFC East fandom at its finest right here. I just like to point that out, Evan. This is what we live with.
This is our lives.
This is our lives daily.
If it's not the Patriots, now it's the Bills.
I know, I know you can probably say your part as the, watching the football team guy.
I can relate to bad football, but the difference is that we don't have a elite team like the Bills that could just beat up on people. And like Lou said, formerly the Patriots, we just have. Well, this year we do, maybe.
Just cannibalizing each other constantly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm used to here. But all right, Lou. Start us off on Philly at Detroit. Philly has a 3-point road edge on the spread. 48's the over/under. You said Detroit's going to win a couple games this year. This has to be one of their best opportunities at home against Philly. So does that mean that you are going with the Lions here, my friend?
I'm going with the Lions here. I think Philly's a bad team. Just overall, Jalen Hurts has been struggling. Just he can run, but besides that, and Detroit's they just want to win. I think that's honestly just gives them a big edge, and I want to see Man Campbell celebrate afterwards. So.
I'm assuming it's me.
Yeah.
I expect there to be some kneecaps bitten off this upcoming week. And I think Dan Campbell is going to take a huge chunk out of an Eagle. I got Detroit for sure. And I think it's going to be interesting seeing that timeshare with Gainwell and Boston Scott, being that Miles Sanders is out. I don't see Detroit losing this, honestly. I don't.
Yeah, the Eagles are not a good team. Zach has Detroit money line as well. So that's 3 Detroit money lines. It feels like it's a Detroit spot, but I've made this mistake twice this year. It's like the saying in stocks, right? Don't catch a falling sword. Like I'm going to stop trying to predict when Detroit's finally going to win a game. I'm going to take Philly here to win on the road, but I could be convinced to take the points. Even though it's only 3.
In our defense, Lou, we don't get to pick. I mean, Evan, we don't get to pick each week. So
yeah, I've already screwed up twice on the Lions. I'm not going to do it again. So we'll leave it at that. Pittsburgh at Cleveland, another 1 p.m. Cleveland, 3.5 point favorites. So they think these teams are pretty even. I'm assuming so. Chubb will be back. Baker should be back, I think, as well. And I mean, Odell played last week, so they should be pretty much fully healthy here for a home game against Pittsburgh. I'll start it off. Assuming they are fully healthy, then other than Kareem Hunt, I like Cleveland to win. I'll say they cover. I'm not that confident in that, but I do think that they're going to start to roll here. Zach's got Pittsburgh money line.
I know, and it's eating me alive right now looking at that because I mean, man, it's hard, but I'm gonna take Cleveland at this, and I think you're going to see a surprising amount of Dearness Johnson, even with Chubb healthy.
Ease him back in. I like it.
Yeah, that was cool seeing him last week. This is just one of those divisional games that I think it could go either way, but I think it's going to be a close game, and I think that's a pretty good line. I'll give Cleveland the edge, though, with everybody back on that offense.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree on the line. I think assuming Cleveland is fully healthy, so maybe there's some injury risk baked into there, but I think that's a little disrespectful to Cleveland because that says they're even.
Those teams play each other really hard. They know each other really well.
That is the thing. Those divisional games. That's how it goes. San Francisco at Chicago. Chicago looked absolutely horrendous I'm going to say kind of a hot, quick prediction that Matt Nagy is fired by week 12.
Should fire him tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say
fire
10.
the man while he's sick. Come on.
I was going to say week 10, but I didn't want to get too aggressive. So San Francisco is going, it has 3 points here. A minuscule 39.5 is your over under. Lou, do you want to start us off with the pick here?
39.5. That's crazy. It might be under though. Yeah, I think San Francisco pulls this one out. I don't think they're particularly a good team either. But Chicago, their offense is awful and their defense has been struggling, which is supposed to be their strong suit. So I got San Francisco covering.
I'll start by saying that I think Justin Fields is a good athlete and he is a good quarterback, but I think there's a lot more problems stemming from that Chicago offense. And I think San Francisco is going to take the cake on this one.
Zach's got San Francisco as well. So do I. I think San Francisco kind of got, not that I think they would have beat the Colts, but they kind of got screwed coming off the bye to have to play in a monsoon. So I think this is a good get right game for them with how bad Chicago looks. And like I said, I think Matt Nagy's tenure with the Bears is almost over. So
and with Trey Sermon in the backfield, you can't go wrong, right?
Oh my gosh, is he ever going to play again? Huge 1 p.m. game here. Tennessee, off of those two massive, just incredible victories, going on the road to Indianapolis. Tennessee is a 1.5 point favorite, a smallest number of the weekend. 51 is the over under. I'm going to start us off. I'm going to flip the script here a little bit and say that Carson Wentz plays really well. Jonathan Taylor gets it going. Tennessee has a comeback to earth game, and this division really tightens up. I've got Indianapolis outright here, as does Zach, and we know that Sai is a Colts fan and we'll have the same. So are you guys going to buck the trend here? What do you got?
I think it's really cute that you guys are doing this for Sai. But I'm gonna live in reality and say that the Derrick Henry train keeps on rolling right through Indianapolis.
I think this might be a shootout. I think this is going to be a good game, and I think I would take the over even at 51. And I think it's going to be close, but I would probably lean Tennessee as well. I think there's a better team, even though it's one of those divisional games.
Sweet. Jacksonville going to Seattle. It's our first 4:00 game. Seattle only is a 3-point favorite here coming off the Monday night game. Over under is 43.5. Lou, start us off.
I think I stick with Seattle. They've looked bad and they've been struggling without Russ, but it's Jacksonville. They have to be Jacksonville, right? At home.
I think Jacksonville, they just make sure they keep tabs on Urban Meyer wherever he may be at this point in time. Man, it's so hard to say with Geno and that whole offense. When is Chris Carson coming back, by the way? I'm going to take Seattle, but I think it's going to be a shootout.
Oh, you think a shootout? Interesting. So you must love the over 43.5. Zach has a Jacksonville money line. I like this as a Seattle cover opportunity. Like, they haven't played bad. More specifically, the defense has been pretty good without Russ. So I think they'll play well. It's going to be a tough environment for Jacksonville and Trevor to go into going across the country up there. So I like this. Actually, one of my preferred bets on the card. I'll say preferred because I hate this card. I don't love a lot of the numbers on here, but I'll say Seattle's one of my preferred bets for them to cover. Big game here. New England going into the Chargers to SoFi here. Chargers coming off a bye. They are 5.5 point favorites, so pretty tight number there. At home, over under is 49. I'll start us off. This is one of my other preferred bets on the card. Probably my favorite to say that the Chargers coming off a bye cover that 5.5. I think that's a little too low here. Zach's got Chargers covering as well. Marty, what do you got here?
Sorry, I just got a trade offer. Let's see. New England. Is Tom Brady still there? No, I got LA. I feel like Chargers are coming off this bye week. They're going to get hot, and I think it's going to be hard for them to stop it. I think you guys made a good point earlier about the AFC being kind of wide open now at this point with the Chiefs being the way they are. And I think LA is going to take a shot, and they're going to produce.
Yeah, I agree. I think LA is going to come out. I think they're going to score a lot of points. But I think this could potentially be a high-scoring game. I like the over in this one as well.
Yeah, I think the spread might be overreacting to the Patriots just beating up on the Jets, which was, borderline rude. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay at New Orleans in the Superdome. First game in the Superdome in a long time. Tampa Bay's only got 5 points here. Over unders 50. Lou, what do you got in this one?
I got Tampa Bay covering. They look so good. I mean, you can't stop, even with the Saints defense, you can't stop that offense. I think they're going to kill them.
Marty?
Oh man, this was kind of eating at me. I looked down the card a while back and saw this one. After watching New Orleans defense Monday night, it's hard for me to think that they can come back into the Superdome and just be taken over. Granted, it is Tom Brady. Granted, it is Tampa Bay. I'm going to venture to take New Orleans on this one, actually.
Wow, I like that. Zach's got Tampa Bay covering. I have Tampa Bay covering as well, but I'm not overly confident in it. Like you said, kind of a homecoming in the Superdome, a revenge game for Jameis, if you will. And like you said, and not only is New Orleans have a really good defense, but they specifically last year did really well against Tom Brady, with the exception of I think the playoff game. But with that said, I think AB should be back. I think even Gronk maybe is back. So it's just hard to go against Tampa Bay, but I respect the choice there by Marty. So Washington football team at Denver. We're going to flip it around here. I'll go last. Denver's actually 3-point favorites in this one, over unders 43. Denver gets Jerry Jeudy back, which is exciting for fantasy owners. Teddy Bridgewater should be fully healthy. Otherwise, on the injury front, I think those are the big ones. We assume Washington's still going with Heineke at quarterback and not Kyle Allen. Lou, we'll go kind of the same order here. What do you got?
Yeah, I think this has the potential to be an ugly game as well, kind of a low-scoring defensive grunge match. But I like Washington. I think Washington actually looked pretty good last week, besides when they got within the 20-yard line. But yeah, I like Washington in this game.
Yeah,
Marty?
I am. This is another toughie for me.
You got burned by Washington last time. I remember that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go against the grain. I'm gonna have to take Denver here with Jerry Jeudy back. I think Melvin Gordon and then Javonte Williams looking as good as he did last week. I think Washington defense is going to be solid, but I think they're going to struggle with their offensive production just because I think they got to get out of some jitters, and with Antonio Gibson not being fully healthy, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Zach has a Washington money line here as well. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm going to take Washington money line, but I do think Lou is right there. They actually played pretty well last week. The defense was a lot better. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers tends to kind of let the foot off the gas and he was kind of just on cruise control, and the offense played well, in between the 20s. I think this is an Antonio Gibson game. They should be able to run the ball like Dearness Johnson blew him up. We should be able to run the ball. I'm not that confident, but I think we can go on the road and get a win here. That's assuming Antonio Gibson can hold on to the ball, which is a huge question mark at this point. But we'll move on to Sunday Night Football. Pretty good game here. Dallas, tough game going on the road. Minnesota coming off a bye. Both teams off a bye, actually. Dallas has a 3-point edge on the road. Over-under is big, 55. I love taking Minnesota to upset teams. I think Minnesota is a pretty good team, and I'm still not convinced Dallas is like a legit Super Bowl contender. I'm going to take Minnesota at home here to put up a lot of points and actually win this game.
You just love Kirk Cousins.
I guess I don't know why I keep picking the Vikings because I'm so anti Kirk Cousins. But Dallas actually, or Zach, I should say, has Dallas covering. I think it's one of his preferred bets, actually. So, Marty, what do you got?
Dallas covering. Move on.
Lou?
All right. I think I'm with you, Evan. I think Minnesota is kind of a sneaky team. I think Dallas is really good, but I think 55 is high. But I think this is going to be a high-scored, close game. I think it's going to be. I'm really excited to watch this game, but I think Dallas pulls it out. They're a good team. Sorry.
Thought you were coming on my side. Darn. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good game. I think it'll be a fun to watch game. But all right, well, let's finish it up. Monday Night Football. We always get a chuckle out at figuring out how to bet the Chiefs from this podcast because Sai always picks the Chiefs to cover, and I got to call out Sai on this one. Last week, I thought that Vegas made a ton of mistakes, and Zach had some data for us that Vegas got absolutely burned last week. I thought the Vegas line against Philly was only, I think it was 3 points, was just made no sense to me in Vegas. I thought the Chiefs Titans line, the fact that the Titans were not only underdogs, but 5.5 point underdogs, was ludicrous to me. And then I thought the Colts, I didn't think that was necessarily an unfair line, but I think picking the Colts to money line that were 3 like layup bets. Unfortunately, Sai prevented us from taking the Titans. So I have to call him out and blame him for us not hitting a parlay and completely burning Vegas. But it's all right. We hit 2 of 3 and had a good week. Anyway, Giants going into Arrowhead, spreads 10, 52.5. Lou.
These are both teams who generally play well in prime time for whatever reason. But I think the Chiefs are a better team than the Giants. I don't know. The Chiefs are just a weird situation, but I feel silly, maybe not to cover, but definitely to win. I think I go Chiefs.
Marty.
I think if Saquon Barkley's back, Kadarius Toney's playing. I think the Chiefs are going to have their work cut out for them on that defense. And the way that they looked last week, oh my gosh. I'm going to take New York here.
I love it. I think Zach has Giants cover. Sorry, that's a mistake. That should be Kansas City, but not covering, which is what I have as well. But this is going to be fun. It's like, how far truly have the Chiefs fallen, right? They started off with the Bills and they looked awful against the Bills and we're like, oh, okay. And then they looked off against the Titans, a slightly worse team. And then the Chargers at the beginning of the year. It's like, how far have they truly fallen? We're going to find out on Monday night.
I will say that they need to get right game. And this is definitely a line to get right. So, it's tough. It's tough for sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. Would you be more surprised if they won by 30 or if they lost this game?
Won by 30.
Won by 30.
I think it's even for me. I wouldn't be surprised if they, put up 40 points. But
I think the Giants should get it going into high gear. Like Marty said, they should be getting healthy. But I think that's it, boys. Appreciate you guys coming on. Lou, I knew I wanted to get you on. Marty, appreciate the last minute join as always.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the guys are back next week. And hopefully we get you guys on once again later in the season.